Welcome to Guestimators, the quiz that gets inside the brilliant and bizarre brains of Britain. I'm Andy Bush, and every week we tackle society's biggest topics, like which letter of the alphabet would be the hardest fighter. This week we are thrilled to be joined by Thom Rylance, lead singer of the high-flying band The Lottery Winners. The Lottery Winners' music blends indie rock, pop and punk influences, and Thom's lyrics reflect everyday life, personal experiences and social commentary on UK society. Their new single, Turnaround, premiered on BBC Radio 2 Breakfast Show last month, and their latest album, KOKO, drops at the end of the month. But that's not it. This year, as well as playing across the UK in their own right, this summer, they'll be supporting Robbie Williams on his UK and European tour. Thom, welcome to Guestimators.
Hello, mate. Thank you for having me and saying all those nice things then.
Oh, well, it's all true, and it's brilliant to have you on. And
you know what? It is all true.
It is.
All of that was factual. I'm kind of a big deal these days.
Well, we can tell because you're coming to us via video link from what appears to be a warehouse. Is that the Lottery Winners' secret hideout base below the surface somewhere in Manchester?
Yeah, it's exactly like Batman.
But you're signing stuff today, right? Is that what? Just tell us about your day after this podcast. What's going on?
I didn't realise, but a big part of my job is writing my name. And I've written it so many times that it's lost all meaning now. I'm just like, what is Thom? But yeah, so we're signing our new record because it comes out really soon. And yeah.
Have you got a good signature, Thom? Have you got a good style to your signature?
I keep changing it. So it's not going to be in any way able to be verified.
There's loads of potential fakes.
I'll literally ruin it. Like, who wants my name written on it? Like, it already looked nice, and now it looks less nice. And it's so much work.
Isn't it weird though? Because I don't know about you, I don't really do any handwriting that much these days. Do you do much handwriting, like in terms of writing stuff?
No, it is rare that I write acoustic. Like, it's all electric now.
Unplugged writing.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time you wrote a cheque? I can't remember. Have you written a cheque recently, Thom?
I'm far too young to have ever written a cheque. I did receive a big cheque once, though. The only cheque I've ever received was big.
Do you know what I was going to suggest? If you go next album after this, Big Check would be a fantastic title for a Lottery Winners album because you don't
probably would
because you don't see the big check that much these days when people have won things. Do you know what I mean?
I try my best not to stay away from any lottery puns because unfortunately, having called the band this, there's never been like any of our big achievements have always been soured by a journalist that says Lottery Winners hit the jackpot. I'm like, come on.
Me and Matt hastily rewriting our scripts for this podcast episode. And then you played Shepherd's Bush Empire last night, is that correct?
Yeah, I've not even slept.
How was it? How was the gig? What an iconic venue it is as well.
It was a beautiful gig. I kept crying though. I don't know if I was tired or just emotional, but I like ruined it. I didn't even cry in like a cool way, just a little tear, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's sweet." It obviously means a lot to him. I cried in a way that made everyone feel uncomfortable, and like nobody wants to pay money to see like a fat grown man crying.
Weirdly enough, I have paid money to see that. Some of the stuff you can get in Soho in London is incredible.
Oh yeah, well, I'm going to be launching an OnlyFans where it's me just crying.
Sobbing. So, Thom, moving along, are you a good quizzer? Are you into quizzing? Are you good at this kind of stuff?
I'm not. Rob, who's in our band, likes quizzes in a really serious way. Like, he takes them far too serious. I don't even like to go to pub quizzes with him because if he gets something wrong, he'll really hold a grudge. And frankly show himself and all of us up.
He's quite competitive then, is he?
Oh, a very competitive quizzer. He is good at it though. He quite often wins. The only quiz that I've ever won, we went as a band to a Phoenix Nights quiz.
Oh wow.
And absolutely wipes the floor with everyone. And you know what? We've got a #1 album, but right next to that trophy is our Phoenix Nights quiz certificate. Like we see that as a big achievement as well.
Well, the reason we're here is to quiz, so let's get stuck in following a recap on how it all works with Matt Cutler, aka the Statman.
Thank you, Bush, and welcome, Thom. So, Thom, we've compiled a group of people from across the UK. They represent a wide range of backgrounds, ages, and interests. We call them the Guestination. We ask the Guestination a series of questions to which there's no correct answer. Your job is to try and work out what their most common answers were to said questions. Simple as that. Our listeners have been playing this quiz, but now it's you against Bush. So you are taking on Mr. Andy Bush on this quiz.
Clash of the Titans. whilst Tom is slowly attacked by a fly in his warehouse that we can see.
I know.
From the...
Well, it's actually a fly warehouse. That's
It is
what we.
The UK's
house
number one place to get hold of flies and stuff like that
in
as
this
well.
Yeah, we put them in little ice cubes and sell them to joke shops.
Do you know what, right? This is so weird you should say that. I was just talking the other day to someone about what happened to the joke industry. Do you remember you used to get a catalogue of, like, you could get jokes like chewing gum that snap your finger or
whoopee cushions.
Whoopee cushion, hand buzzers, flies in ice cubes. Where have the jokes gone, Tom?
World's gone mad.
That's
World's
it.
gone mad, mate. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
All
right.
these bloody iPads and stuff now.
I haven't seen a mouth turn blue with chewing gum in years. What's the world come to? Anyway, Matthew,
Right, let's
off
get
you
cracking.
go.
So Tom, there'll be 3 rounds. I'll take your answers. And this week's Guestimators quiz is called Screwdrivers, Sunglasses and Suitable Sandwiches. All of that will become clear very soon. And in round 1 this week, we're going to explore a task that some people love, some people hate, and that's DIY around the house. Because we asked the Guestination, what's the best tool in the toolbox?
Are you a handy person, Tom? Do you fix stuff? Have you got a toolbox, etc.?
Do I look like a handy person? I can't do any of that, me. For very even tiny tasks, I get on Facebook Marketplace and find men.
I've heard that rumour.
I can't do anything, me. I literally am rubbish at everything apart from being a really handsome, cool rock star, which is lucky because that's always what I wanted to do.
What about fixing your own, like, kit on stage? And or do you do any roadieing, self-roadieing, that kind of thing?
No, we're a big deal, so I have I have people for that now. But there was a long time where we didn't. But then I just made my mate Rob do it, who's in the band, because he's like good at stuff. We used to live in a flat together, and he used to put all the pictures up and bleed the radiators.
Yeah.
And I used to just swan around in a silk dressing gown, looking beautiful.
What was the last bit of DIY or hands-on stuff you did then, Tom? Anything you can remember?
I did once change a plug socket, which was an incredibly dangerous job for me, and nobody should have let me do it. And I ended up I electrocuted myself, and I had a black hand.
Oh my lord!
For a while, it went all sooty.
Imagine that, a weird, like, black burnt hand. What a story! What an icebreaker that would be in a pub.
Look at my burnt hand. I don't think you'd have many conversations if that was your opener. Would you like to see my burnt hand?
Well, with that DIY in mind, let's see what questions we've got here.
Well, there's 4 questions on this round. 4 questions on this round. I'll ease you in with this one. I want you to reminder. We asked the Guestination, name the best tool in the toolbox. Question 1: did more people say spirit level or a Stanley knife?
For the best tool.
Best tool, yeah. Well, of those 2 options, what was said more by the Guestination? Spirit level or Stanley knife?
Is it my go?
It's your go.
I think probably Stanley knife.
Why are you thinking that?
Because who cares if anything's straight or not?
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? It's well more useful a Stanley knife, isn't it? And it's cool. I like saying it. Stanley knife. What's that? That's my Stanley knife. Are you allowed one of them? No.
Have you seen me burnt hand and me Stanley knife? I'm gonna go spirit level. I like. There's something serene about spirit levels, though. Something old-fashioned. They've not changed over the years, have they? That kind of weird, almost like U-boat-esque, high vis yellow liquid. What is that liquid?
It's like Screwfix's version of a lava lamp.
It is. It is. It is. Do you reckon if you would have a shot of the spirit level water, what do you reckon that is?
Oh, I don't know. Do you reckon it's the same thing that's in? What's the things called that measure temperature? I forgot the name of them.
Thermometers.
Thermometers and that.
No, I don't think that's it. Yeah, is it? What is that? That's mercury. I was always really intrigued by mercury because someone told me if I drank it, then it might give me superpowers.
Don't try that at home, kids. Okay,
maybe if you drink a spirit level, you just get really great posture.
Oh, yeah, imagine that, be completely upright. I reckon it might be that turmeric stuff. You get them turmeric shots. I think it might be that. If you can clarify or confirm what it is in the spirit level water. I've always been tempted by the water that you get in a radiator. If you bleed a radiator,
oh, yeah.
What is that stuff? Maybe it's the elixir.
Always bleeding radiators, me.
So yeah, I'll go spirit level. Tom's going Stanley.
Okay, nice. Questions 2 and 3 on this round. I'll give those them together. I simply want you to tell me what was the most common answer, what was the second most common answer, and I'm going to give you some choices. The top answer and the second most common answer are in this group. Is it a drill, a hammer, some pliers, a screwdriver, or a tape measure? So drill, hammer, pliers, screwdriver, or tape measure. What was the most common answer, and what was the second most common answer?
What are you thinking, Tom?
I'm thinking hammer drill.
It's straight in there, hammer drill.
Hammer drill. No explanation.
Yeah.
Fine. Hammer then drill. Oh,
Perfect.
because actually a hammer drill is something. That is also.
Is that a thing?
That is a thing. Yeah. It's,
Well,
it's
why
a
would
setting.
you ever want them individually?
That's a good point. It's more to carry, isn't it?
What? So it's like an electric hammer.
Yeah.
And,
It's
and
like
you...
yeah. It's like a setting on a. It's a setting on a drill.
Oh
A
my
hammer.
God, I've been hammering so embarrassingly, just doing it acoustic. That is so embarrassing.
Talk of the building site. See what he's did? That fellow with a burnt hand over there. You see what he's been doing? Hammer drill for Tom. I'm going to go. We've got about 5 or 6 tape measures in our house because I always forget if we've got one or not, so I end up buying them when we go to B&Q, etc. So I'm going to say tape measure and pliers. Who Shakademus?
What's the last thing you measured?
Last thing. Well, that's a very personal question. Circumference of my head.
Was it?
Is that true?
Yeah. We're trying to get some hats done for the show. And I had to measure the size of my head and my chest size. I never know what they are. You know, like people, you might know your waist size for jeans, etc. I don't know what my chest size is. Anyone know their
How
chest
big's
size?
your head?
I can't remember what it was now. It was just bang average for each head size.
Chest.
It looks quite tiny, actually.
Well, thanks very much.
I'd say it was probably tiny.
Tiny little head.
Yeah,
Mini head.
in a nice way.
Thanks very much. It's the nicest thing anyone's ever said. I'll put that on my LinkedIn. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I'm going pliers and tape measure.
Okay. Last question on this round. One person on the guest nation, and I'm going to tell you, this is a lady in her 40s. She said adjustable spanner is the
Ooh.
best thing in a toolbox. Also, on a previous quiz, in fact, on last week's quiz, we asked the guest nation how many hot drinks, so talking tea, coffee, hot chocolate, etc., they would ideally have in the same mug before either washing it or completely moving onto a new one. So are we clear with that? So that was the question last week.
Right.
What did the lady who said adjustable spanner, how many hot drinks would she have in a mug before moving on to a new one?
Wow.
Get into the mind of this person.
Well, I'll admit to everybody here now, I've never tried tea or coffee.
Whoa.
What?
Never a sip.
Well,
Never
how
even
come?
tried it, not even once. Well, I kind of got to about 25 and realised that I'd never tried it. Because I wasn't allowed when I was young. Because I was too clumsy and I just couldn't. I wasn't allowed hot drinks.
Yeah.
And then I realised that I could probably be the only British man to do like a full life and never have a cup of tea. And I thought that could probably be the most interesting thing about me. So I'm going to do that. And then I want it to say on my gravestone, here lies Thom Rylance, never had a brew.
That's incredible. I mean, how do you feel that you would react if all these years without coffee you were to have like a white Americano? What would happen to you, Tom?
I don't know, because people always try and make me drink one. I tell people that, and then they feel like it's their duty now to make me drink one. But I just don't want to do it. I've got enough vices anyway. I don't need something else to require to get through the day.
That is a good point. Well, I mean, like, so we got this lady here, mid-40s. She said adjustable spanner. How many kind of mug uses would she do before actually sticking it in for a wash?
Well, this is a bizarre question to me, because don't people just have one drink and then wash it?
Wow, according to last week's episode.
I just have a drink of hot chocolate and then smash it on the floor. Make someone clean it up.
That's what being a rock star is like, folks. You have one drink out of a mug and then it's gone for.
I don't know, two drinks out of it and then you need to wash it. One seems like the limit for me.
Big respect for adjustable spanner as well.
Yeah.
Very much Mario. It's got Mario vibes, isn't it?
I've got a voice note from her that I'm going to play in a sec.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to explain her.
I'm going to say, I'll say 5.
5?
5 reuse. We're about to hear from her. We don't know what she's like.
Well, what's the length of time between the drinks? Because I think that's really important, because if there's just a little bit left and it's been hours, then that's going to go all minging, isn't it? Like, I don't want to be drinking a bit of milk that's been there all day. 5 is insane. This
Five's
is disgusting. I'm leaving.
Tom is appalled.
Right, I'm gonna take 5 for you, Bush, and 2 for you, Tom. And that round is done.
Whoa.
Questions are in. Best tool in the toolbox. Did more people on the Guestination say a spirit level or a Stanley knife? They said Stanley knife.
Well done,
That's
Tom.
what I said, innit?
1-0
Yeah.
for Tom.
Perfect.
The second most common answer was the hammer, which you put top, Tom, but I'll give you a half point because you guessed it, but in the wrong position.
You're acing this, Tom.
Just do one for half point.
The klaxon.
However, the most common answer was screwdriver, which didn't come into conversation for either of you.
Oh, wow,
Screwdriver,
that's weird.
most, yeah.
You just
Best
never know
tool
what
in
the public
toolbox.
are going to go for, do you?
You don't.
I've been thinking about it a lot as well.
Before I give you the answer to question 4, we are going to hear from the lady who said adjustable spanner, and here's what she had to say.
Hello, I'm Saz. I'm from Bath. I chose adjustable spanner because it has so many different uses for loosening one's nuts, but you can also use it as a weapon. You can whack someone around the head with it. You can use it as a torture device, clamp someone's finger and spin the wheel till they scream. You can use it to hold carrots to dip in hummus. The little wheel itself is actually quite good for getting the skin off the bottom of your feet. Give it to a 1-year-old, maybe they could use it as a cricket bat. I mean, the list is endless.
She's off her head, isn't she?
Can you give her my number?
The mind boggles some of the things she can do with a adjustable spanner.
Yeah, that's a little insight into our Guestination. Saz said she would use a mug twice before cleaning it. So you got that right, Tom.
So good at this.
He's the everyman.
Yeah.
Coming to you live from a warehouse, he's the everyman.
It's a warehouse of knowledge, mate.
That's what it is.
But that does mean after round 1, Tom, you're on a 2.5, and Bush, you're on a 0. You actually bageled on that round, Bush. You got a 0.
Oh, Tom's absolutely trounced me in round 1.
Getting trounced.
Don't worry about it, mate. It happens to the best of us.
Before we get into round 2, if you're listening and didn't play this quiz, make sure you sign up at guestimators.com. Every Monday, the quiz lands in your email inbox, and you've got until 6 p.m. on Wednesday to tackle it. This podcast right here is the first place to hear the answers and whether you top the weekly leaderboard. And if you're enjoying the show, please give us a rating and a review. It really helps us to spread the word. Right then, everything to play for. Welcome back. What have you got in store for us in round 2, Statman Matt?
Round 2 this week comes from a listener stroke a player, Elliot Charles, who picked up on my previous comments on this podcast where I said that adults shouldn't eat jam sandwiches. That was just something I feel very strongly about.
Outrageous statement.
Adults shouldn't eat jam sandwiches. Let's come back to that in a sec. But he said you should give the Guestination a list of food and drinks typically consumed by children and ask them to pick which is the least appropriate for an adult to consume. Of kids' foods, which is the least appropriate. So, so we asked them that.
Tom, before we get into this, do you eat anything that would be considered children's food?
I don't think that I've eaten anything that's not been yellow for quite a long time. I've not had a vegetable since 2015. I'm just not into it, man. Like, healthy.
Just
Not into any of
What's-Its
that.
and Capri Sun is your life? Is that what it is?
Mate, I love What's-Its. I eat so many What's-Its. I've constantly got orange fingers, but sometimes with a black hand underneath.
Me burnt hand. And then, so would you have what would you have for like an evening meal then, Tom? What's your ideal evening meal then?
Garlic bread with cheese.
Really?
Yeah,
As a
just
main?
that. Yeah, and then a garlic bread with cheese as a side.
I like it.
This is what I had before you really rudely interrupted. It was just it's a chicken burger, but it was very soggy and pink.
Oh, so if you ditched it, because there's nothing worse than someone talking to you whilst you've got food there that you're waiting to eat. I do apologise about that.
It was more that it was soggy and pink that I ditched it. Not because of this. I'd have just eaten it.
If you were going to go on Come Dine With Me, Tom, what would you make for the people that are coming around your house?
I don't know how to make food. It's just boring, innit? Like, I don't think I know how to fry an egg. It's just a bit boring. Like, I'll just order something every day, me, and that's why I look like a slug.
Like a slug. So you just order stuff in the whole time? You don't make anything for yourself?
I just order stuff and then just put it on a plate and just be like, look how amazing I am at curry.
That's fair enough. Yeah, frying an egg is boring. I've always thought that. So there you go.
There's so many things to remember, like, oh, I have to wait 12 minutes.
Yeah.
What does fan assisted mean? I'm not doing any of that.
Well,
Got songs to write.
But exactly, he's got to get on with writing stuff. So, well, what have we got question-wise here, Statman, Matt?
Right, so we gave the guest nation a list of food and drinks typically consumed by children. Asked them to pick what's the least appropriate for an adult to consume. Questions 1 and 2, I want you to tell me what the most common answer and the second most common answers were from these foods. First one, dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. Jam sandwich, which I referenced earlier. Party rings. Petit filou. Or toffee apple.
Any of those jumping out as something that you would like to eat, Tom, out of that lot?
That sounded like a really nice meal. Like all of that. I'd like that, please. On one plate.
Set menu.
Yeah. I think the chicken nuggets are fine, but if you're going to shape them like dinosaurs, it does make it a bit stranger for an adult to eat them, especially if you insist on it. Like I'm not having chicken nuggets unless they look like dinosaurs.
Yeah, you have your hard drive taken away in a carrier bag.
Yeah, I think you might. Are you ready for my guesses?
Yeah.
I'm not. Let me think about it more. I think that the most common answer will be the chicken nugget dinosaurs.
Okay.
The dinosaur nugget chickens. And do you want my second most common?
Do it. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, but let me just say before I answer this one, I don't know what petit filou is. Well, whatever you said.
Petit filou.
Can you describe that?
Do you know these they're like little tubes? Oh no, they're like little tiny yogurts.
Little yogurts.
Little yogurts that kids have.
It's fromage frais.
Are you talking about a froob?
It's sort of like that, yeah.
Bit like a froob.
Fromage frais.
It's
like yogurt.
Cool eating a froob, do they? That might change things. I was gonna go party rings, but I think I'm gonna go Pelly, whatever it is.
Petit filou.
Yeah, that.
It sounds like that little the little French skunk from cartoons from back in the day, doesn't it? Petit filou, but I think there's a good shout. I think petit filou is one. I'm going to go party rings, which are 100% kids' food. Number 2.
Fine, okay. I'll take dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets top for you, Tom, then petit filou, and then petit filou top for you, Bush. Sorry, what was the second one you said?
Did I say party rings? Sorry,
Party rings.
You copied my answer that I was going to say, and you said party rings. So if you get a point on that, technically, I'm having it.
The sledging's begun. It's only round 2.
Right. Last question on this round. We also asked the guest nation which of a bunch of foods is the most fine for an adult to consume. And I want you to tell me what was the most common answer. There are only 3 options here, though. One is Baby Bell, hula hoops, or Ribena. Of those 3, which did the guest nation think was the most acceptable or fine for an adult to consume? Baby Bell, hula hoops, or Ribena?
Kate in our band eats a lot of Baby Bells, a lot. Like I'd say probably 39 Baby Bells a day. But she keeps me quiet by giving me the wax, the little red wax.
What do you do with the wax?
Making little balls out of it and throwing it round.
Oh yeah, I always think about melting the wax down on those things and doing my own seal with a signet ring when I'm writing to people.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Try it,
do
man.
That. But I never have sent a letter. How often do you write to people?
That's a good point. I've just started writing mainly so I can do the Baby Bell thing. I'll write to you. I'll write to you, Tom. You write back, and we'll get this whole
a pen pal.
wax seal thing going. That'd be so good.
I've always wanted a pen pal.
Imagine that, Tom writing to me saying, "I hope this letter finds you well," like they did in Edwardian times.
Excuse the what's-its fingerprints.
And my burnt hand.
What was the other things? Hula hoops. I like putting them on my fingers. And
Ribena.
Ribena's a classic. Ribena is totally acceptable for anybody of all ages.
Yeah.
Fine.
Well, I mean, what are you thinking out of those 3 then? The most fine. They're all pretty fine.
I think the most fine is Ribena.
Ribena. Okay. I'll take
I
Ribena for
bathe
you,
in
Tom.
that.
I'm going to go Baby Bell just because I like them. I think they're great.
Take those.
Yeah, having it.
Ribena for you, Tom. Baby Bell.
This fly loves me.
Can't get rid of it.
It's how embarrassing for you.
Right, that round is done and the answers are in. So, what was the most common answer for the least appropriate food? It was dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. Tom, you got that on the nose. That's another point there.
This guy's incredible. He's going maybe for the highest guesstimated score of all time.
Yeah, we always knew it was going to happen.
But get this, second most common answer was Petit Falou. So you got another point there, Tom. You got a half point there.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty cool about that.
However, the most common answer for the most fine was actually hula hoops. So you both got that one wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, you both got that one wrong. But that
I
does.
actually think the 100 people you asked got that one wrong. And it is actually Ribena.
But that means going into the last round, Bush, you're on a half, and Tom, you're on a 4.5. This
Wow.
is a trouncing.
Is there a prize?
Maybe.
Maybe. You're gonna have to
You're going to
find
have to
out.
wait till the end.
So, Tom, let's talk about your latest album, KOKO. It's going to drop at the end of March. Now, you've got some collaborations on there. Can you confirm who will be collaborating with you on that album?
John McClure out of Reverend and the Makers, who's one of my closest friends now. I really like him. He's lovely.
Yeah.
Frank Turner, who's one of my closest friends now. I really like him. He's lovely. And who else is on it? Rick Witter out of Shed 7, who's one of my closest friends now. I really like him. And he's lovely. And Chad Kruger out of Nickelback.
Oh, wow. What a combination of different
He was also one of my really good friends.
Phew.
But yeah, it's crazy, especially Chad Kruger. Like, you know, I was a kid that watched Kerrang on TV and watched, you know, How You Remind Me was on every third song, and now sometimes he'll FaceTime me at 4 a.m. because he doesn't understand time difference. And yeah, but he's lovely.
Well, has he ever clarified or shared with you what it was on Joey's head in that song?
Yeah, he did tell me. He told me in our latest FaceTime. I've got a screenshot of him, and he was walking around his kitchen, and he picked up that picture and showed it me like that and it was just I did the pose, and I was like, I'm gonna have to screenshot this, Chad. And then he said, "Please don't." I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a spaghetti thing.
There was a spaghetti thing on Joey's head,
a thing that you put like wine in or something,
like a carafe.
a giraffe. I think you said that wrong.
Well, and then let's talk about you're going to be supporting Robbie Williams. Tell us a bit more about that. That's incredible.
That is incredible. I've been like a huge Robbie fan for my entire life. The first song that I ever sang publicly was at Low Bank Ground on a primary school trip with Stephen Fish. Is this too many details?
Nice, perfect.
And it was Strong by Robbie, and I remember it. Like, I remember doing it, and I remember that it uploaded a little bit of code into my brain that like people liked it when I did that, and it really changed like who I was as a person. And so literally I get to call him Rob, but I'd prefer it if you continue to call him Robbie. Rob heard one of our songs on the radio and loved it and just reached out, and he just like FaceTimed me, which was, I think I love that bold move, just straight in for the FaceTime, and you're Robbie Williams. And we just ended up chatting and really got on, like genuinely really got on. We were chatting for about an hour.
Oh, wow.
And he like towards the end of the call, he just said to me, Tom, I've like listened to everything you've done. I've had like a real deep dive. I've watched every interview. I just think you're a really special person. And like when you get like one of your idols saying that to you, it's like choking me up now to talk about it. And we just kind of like started talking. Like I'll be in Lidl and he'll FaceTime me. We talk 4 or 5 times a week. We
Amazing.
catch up. We both got ADHD, and we both kind of get overwhelmed by the same things. And we've got similar jobs. Like he's like whatever the opposite of Team U is version of me.
Can I ask you a question about your FaceTimes with Robbie Williams? Because I've just watched the brilliant documentary about him, and he spent a lot of time in his underpants, sitting in bed with no trousers on. What was he wearing when he was talking to you, or when he talks to you?
We both spend a lot of time in bed with no trousers on, talking to each other.
Special chats.
I think a lot of people would pay to watch some of these FaceTimes. I might pitch it to him. But yeah, not in a weird way. I think that like we both just kind of get burnt out quite a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's our safe space really, because when you've got to like be on stage all the time, like our touring schedule is hectic, and you've kind of just got to be like this version of you, like this. He says that he's got Rob, which is him, and Robbie, which is like this other character, and I can fully relate to that because I feel like that too. Like it's not me that's on stage, it's like this brilliant version of me, and I'm just so grateful that he turns up. And there's only been a couple of times where he hasn't, and it was actually me who had to do the gig. And but that version of Rob and me that's in bed, that's the Rob I know, and that's the Tom that he knows, and it's quite nice, really, because it's like almost like therapy or something. We both just like talk to. What overwhelmed you today? Did you have to talk to people? Was it scary? It's like, yeah, it was. I had to do this weird podcast about guessing things, and I didn't even want to.
Well, put in a good word for Guestimators, and if he ever wants to come on live from his bed, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I will. I absolutely will.
Well, listen, it's time for our final round. What do you have for a Statman, Matt?
For the final round this week, we gave the Guestination a bunch of hypothetical scenarios and asked them for how much money it would require them to carry each of them out. There's 4 scenarios. Ooh. The first one was wearing sunglasses for an entire month without taking them off once, apart from for sleeping.
Wow.
The second one was not brushing your teeth for 3 months.
Oh.
The third one was when you're outside, you have to walk backwards for 6 months.
That's bizarre.
And the fourth one is not watching TV for a year.
Didn't I read somewhere that Liam Gallagher was doing a bit of backwards jogging on Hampstead Heath? Because it's supposed to be really good, isn't it? If you jog backwards, it's supposed to be really like a good way of exercising. Is
It's
that right?
supposed to be good for you, yeah. I've never tried it. I can do it.
Sounds dangerous. Any of those jumping out of... well, let's see what the first question is. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. So the first question, which of those 4 scenarios on average did the Guestination want the most money to do? So wearing sunglasses for an entire month, not brushing your teeth for 3 months, when you're outside walking backwards for 6 months, or not watching TV for a year?
I think it's the teeth one. I don't think that's a lot, that in it, 3 months.
3
Is
months.
it like hair, where the less you wash it, the more it just does it itself?
Self-cleaning.
Yeah.
I don't know if
think
teeth...
it's like that.
Yeah.
It's not like that with teeth, is it?
Unfortunately,
most people would be disgusted by that teeth one. I wear sunglasses all the time anyway, but I've earned that.
He's got a tour bus. Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
I'll go. I think walking backwards. Is
Backwards
quite weird.
travel?
Backwards travel. I think that's kind of weird.
Okay. That would be quite annoying, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Question 2 on this round. What about the least money on average that it would take for the Guestination to do those 4 scenarios?
Well, I think that people might have answered this just dishonestly. I think people will want to seem more interesting when answering this question, and they'll be like, "Oh, TV, I could take it or leave it." I'd happily read a book. No, you wouldn't. When's the last time you read a book? God, I hate these people. You're all fake. I think maybe that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I think TV, definitely.
Okay, I'll take...
People giving it the big one.
Okay, I'll take TV for both of you. Question 3 on this round. And so for the scenario that on average the Guestination wanted the least money for, what was the lowest one person said they would do it for? And I'm going to give you a clue. No one said they'd do it for free.
Wow, okay.
So of all the scenarios they said, what was the lowest amount of money it would have taken for someone to do one of those things?
I think that someone called Kevin said that he'd wear sunglasses all the time for £100.
100 quid for 3 months. Yeah.
I think it's the sunglasses one as well, but I think that they're pretty cheap, the Guestination. I'm going to say 30 quid.
30 quid.
Tenner a month. Look at
And
direct
what was
debit.
the name?
Neville.
Oh, I hate Neville. That's so typical Neville to say 30 quid.
What is Neville like? Cheapskate. Do anything for cash.
Okay, nice. I'll take 100 quid for you, Tom, and 30 quid for you, Bush. Only have the tiebreaker left now. What was the highest figure said by someone on the Guestination? And I can tell you it was actually the brushing the teeth category.
Yeah,
It's pretty bad.
So like the maximum amount of money. I'll give you a clue now. This is a big number.
Ooh. What are you thinking, Tom?
A big number for you guys, or me, who's a rock star?
Oh, that's a good point, yes. Peanuts for Tom. Wallet money
I'm
for
so
Tom, innit?
skinned. I literally have earned no money doing this at all. So it's probably going to be in the millions then. At first, I was thinking about if 3 years was it the teeth thing?
The teeth one was 3 months.
3 months, yeah.
Oh, 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd do it for 50 grand a month, definitely.
Fine.
I'd do it for 150 grand.
I'd go £100,000. I think it's £100,000.
Fine.
I'm going to go £101,000.
It's like eBay. Sunday night eBay, both with a glass of wine each. I want them shoes.
Is this for like who gets closest to it?
Yeah, this is in case it's a tie at the end, so we can
Yeah.
always have a
It's
winner.
not going to be. I've absolutely stormed this.
He has. He's blasted me here, so it's a waste of time this last
So
bit.
you're saying 100 grand, Bush?
Yeah, 100
And what are you saying, Tom? You're saying 101 grand or 150 grand?
101.
101. Cheeky.
That's provocative.
That is cheeky, isn't it? Right, that's done. Absolutely smashed through that round. Okay, answers are in. Which scenario on average did the guest nation want the most money for? It was backwards travel. Bush, you got that one right?
Whoa, bit of a comeback going on here, Tom.
Oh no, I don't like this. The atmosphere has changed.
That would be so annoying. Having to walk backwards for 6 months in every when you're outside.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Unless you're Liam Gallagher, apparently. What about the least amount of money for question 2? Tom, I think you're going to kick yourself here. It was actually the sunglasses. That was the one that people would be
We
prepared
both
to do.
said telly though, didn't we?
You both said telly.
People showing off on that.
Yeah.
Tom's just interested in the win. He's not interested at
No,
all
he
about
doesn't
what the
care
public think.
Oh, I don't care about that. I just like winning stuff, and I heard there might be a prize.
Well, question 3. For the least money scenario, what was the lowest someone said they would do it for? Someone said they would do the sunglasses thing for £5.
Wow. In total, that's over 3 months.
For £5. And this one was for the sunglasses was for
Bono?
a month. I actually messaged the person about this and said why, and it was like, I'll just make a thing out of it. It'll be my thing for
It's
a
his
month.
thing.
Just, I'm the sunglasses guy, and I
Fair
do
enough.
it for a £5.
Get his PayPal, and I'll send a £5, but he has to check in every day at night.
FaceTime
At
you.
night whilst driving.
I can tell you the tiebreaker. Someone said that they would, for them to not brush their teeth for 3 months, they'd want £100 trillion.
Oh, it's not even a real amount, is it? It's a waste of
That's
time.
not even a real number.
Do you know how many zeros that is? That is 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 zeros after a 1.
I don't think it's a real number. It's not real. Obviously, that's just normal money, though, for Tom there,
Yeah,
rock
that's
star over there.
a
So,
day. That's a day
So
in
they
the
wouldn't
warehouse.
do it for £1 under that 14 trillion.
Apparently not. Apparently not.
so how's that look
Well,
score-wise?
that's pretty selfish considering you could end world famine, isn't it? Just because you don't want bad breath.
That's Bill Gates being a prick again. Stay out the quiz, Bill.
It does mean that after that, Bush, you got 1 on that. Actually, you bageled on that round, Tom, unfortunately. But it means you still won quite comfortably 4.5 to 1.5.
Get in there.
And the prize, I'm
People
going to.
still do dabs.
He's dabbing. Sat in a warehouse full of his own merchandise, dabbing at me for winning a quiz.
That literally nobody has bought.
But look at this, though, Tom. Look what you've won.
Can you see that? That's what you win.
To never have a brewing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What would you have in that? Milk or something, you big weirdo?
I don't know, but I'm going to wash it after every use. I'll tell you that.
Good man. He has learnt. He's learnt.
Yeah.
Well, listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to our brilliant guest, the celebrity, Thom Rylance. Make sure you listen right to the end of this podcast here. Statman Matt reveal who topped the listener leaderboard this week. And we love hearing from you. So please let us know how you did on socials and with a voice note. And as ever, the voice note number is 07457 404 279. You've been listening to Guestimators, and we'll see you next time. Tom, thanks very much.
Boom.
Thank you.
Hello, Guestimators. It is Statman Matt here, and I have the news for you of who topped the listener leaderboard this week. I can tell you the average score was a 5, so congratulations if you got 5 and above. And it was a 9 that took it this week. In fact, 4 people were tied at the top with 9, so it came down to a tiebreaker. And as you know, the tiebreaker was an insane number, 100 trillion or something. Yeah, 100 trillion, I think it was. So basically, the highest person who put the highest tiebreaker said by a person basically won it. And this week's winner is a 2-time winner, someone who played the first ever quiz, and it's Sarah Vaughan. Sarah, congratulations! You got every question right up to the last one where you put 500 when the answer was 5. So congratulations, very very well done. You also won the Lloyd Griffith episode, which I think was just over a year or so ago. Because you've already won, Sarah, I need to give you a different prize because I'm assuming you have still a tote bag. So I will get in touch with you about a different Guestimators prize. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Thank you for playing as ever. We'll be back on Monday with a bonus round to preview another quiz.